Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me get this out of the way. I don't think you see it though. It's a little pop up on Discord. But everyone's having a great night. It is July 10th, and it is our 18th episode of the Northeast Ohio Sports Show. We've been having this every week, concurrent with our regular news show on Mondays, and now we have that sport. We have our healthy living show too on Sundays. However, that's always like sometimes inconsistent. Trevor's pretty busy. I'm pretty busy on the weekends. But we'll be having more episodes of that too, talking about our gardens. Mine's doing very well. Welcome to our sports show, though. First, funny, not so funny topic is right after the F1 British Grand Prix. Red Bull fired their boss, team principal Christian Horner. We'll be talking about that more in depth a little bit later. But that's our quick funny topic. Last week, there's a clip you could look up of him saying that he's safe at Red Bull and he doesn't think he's going to get fired. He's staying there for good. He basically, like, there was actually not even, like, they didn't even ask him if he was going to get fired. They asked him about other offers, and he said he was going to stay at Red Bull, and he was confident in Red Bull. We'll start so far for Northeast Iowa Sports Show with the Formula One standings. Please drop a like. Even if you're watching a video on demand later on, drop a like. It helps our algorithm too. Maybe some of our videos could pop off. They're pretty quick, so that's good to see. If we get good views and good likes, that'd be great. Below in the description is Facebook. Please like and follow on there. Even if you're just quick, it would be great. If you're new, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, that's okay. If you're already subscribed, that's great. But please subscribe if you're not. I hope you get notifications and see when the live streams come on. You can turn on notifications for certain shows, and that's great. Today, like I said, we'll be going through the Formula One standings. After the British Grand Prix, Oscar Piastri is in first at 2:34. Lando Norris is in second at 2:26. Max Verstappen in third at 1:65. George Russell in fourth at 1:47. Charles Leclerc in fifth, 1:19. Lewis Hamilton in sixth at 1:03. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, A.K. Antonelli, seventh at 63, decent behind Lewis. Then we have Alexander Albon eighth. Nico Hulkenberg after his podium, ninth. Ocon 10th, Hydra 11th, Stroll 12th, Gasly, Fernando Alonso doing bad, Carlos Sainz doing bad, Spaniards doing bad this later, Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda for a Red Bull driver kind of sucks right now, for getting points, Oliver Behrman, Gabriel Bortoleto, and then people who I don't think race anymore are Franco Colapinto and Jack Doohan. The standings for the constructors is McLaren first at 460, double Ferrari at 222. In second, Mercedes is in third at 210. Mercedes had a horrible last week. Ferrari had some great weeks of 27-12 the last 2 weeks. Mercedes had 10-1. Red Bull's in fourth. They had 0 in Austria, 10 in Great Britain. Having 0 at your home track is disgusting, so I kind of understand why they fired Christian Horner. We'll be talking about that later. This is coming up for summer break, so that makes sense. I don't think I can put the next F1 race on here, but we'll be talking about it. Then after Red Bull's at 172, so way behind. We have Williams, Sauber, Racing Bulls, Aston Martin doing horrible, Haas, Alpine. Going into NASCAR, their last race was their Chicago Street Race, which Sam Van Giberen won. Giberen, that's a horrible last name. Ty Gibbs got second, Tyler Elliott got third, Danny Hamlin got fourth, Kyle Busch got fifth, Allmendinger sixth, Ryan Pierce, who I think used to be an IndyCar driver, one of these guys it was, seventh, Bowman eighth, Hill ninth, Frost Chastain 10th, Joey Logano 11th, Ryan Blaney number 12 got 12th, Kyle Larson, best driver in the world, got fifth, Zane Smith, John Nemchek, Chase Elliott. So a good race. Other guys I'm trying to see, they probably didn't finish. Yeah. Bubba Wallace 28th. NASCAR's next race is for Sonoma Speedway in the Toyota Save Mart 350. It is Sunday, July 13th at 3:30. Around 2 days. Standings for NASCAR right now. At points to 632 is William Byron. 24 is Chevy. Chase Elliott second, 9. 619 is a score, good score. Chevy. Kyle Larson number 5. 613 in a Chevy. Then we have Denny Hamlin in his Toyota, Tyler Reddick in his Toyota, Christopher Bell in his Toyota. That was 6. 7th is Ryan Blaney. First Ford at a 5.39. Ross Chastain, Briscoe, Bowman. So Crazy Joey Logano is 12. Bubba Wallace 13th. Allmendinger Pierce. Dude, just behind there. We'll go to IndyCar. IndyCar's last race was Mid-Ohio, which is last week on Sunday. It was a great race. A lot of drama, some wrecks. And Alex Palou miffed it on a turn. I think there were 6 laps left and ended up losing. It may have been 3, not 6, but it may have been 6. And Scott Dixon won for Chip Ganassi, his teammate. Alex Palou got second, and Christian for Chip Ganassi, and third was Christian Lundgaard for Aaron McLaren. Colin Herter got 4th for Andretti. Pato O'Ward started 14th, got 5th for Aaron McLaren. Colin Herter started 5th, Lundgaard started 2nd, Palou started 1st, and Scott Dixon started 9th, so a good win for him. He, I think, 2-stopped. Yeah, he was feeling 2-stopper up here. The next 2-stopper was Felix Rosenkrantz, who was after Pato O'Ward, Marcus Armstrong, Kyle Kirkwood for Andretti, Rinus VeeKay, Kev Simpson, Nolan Siegel, Marcus Ericsson, Cam Elliott, Lewis Foster, Rossi, Santino Ferrucci, David Maluka, Stingray Robb, Connor Daly, David DiFrancesco, Robert Schwartzman, Jake Abel, Scott McLaughlin, Graham Rahal, Chastain, Christian Ramsden, Will Power, and Joseph Newgarden. I'm pretty sure the people who didn't finish was for Ramsden, Will Power, and Joseph Newgarden. No, Joseph Newgarden only got 1 lap in. Penske's having a horrible year. Indy has a double race this weekend on, I believe, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. But for next race is for 12 at 5, and I think for Sunday races at 3. It is for SYNK 275, powered by Suckup. And I'm going to check when a race is after that, because after it's a Farm to Finish 250. So basically back-to-back 250s to make 500 actually miles. So 2 Indy 500s, or sorry, 1 Indy 500 is split in half. The Sunday race is at 1. Qualifications for race 2 is Saturday at 12. And qualifications for the first race is also 12 on Saturday. And actually that's when qualifications for the first race is too, Saturday. Practice is Friday at 4:30, and they have a Highline session Friday at 3:45. So we get some good racing, and then we have another race after that next week for IndyCar. So there's basically a triple header for Indy on weekends, which is great to see, and we're back-to-back this week. But this weekend, this is Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. For standings for IndyCar right now is Alex Palou first, Kyle Kirkwood second, Pato O'Ward third, Scott Dixon fourth, Christian Lundgaard fifth, Felix Rosenkrantz 6th, Colton Herta 7th, Marcus Armstrong 8th, Will Power 9th, Santino Ferrucci 10th. We got Chip Ganassi, Honda at first. Second is Andretti Global in Honda. Third, Pato O'Ward in his Chevy. Fourth, Scott Dixon, Chip Ganassi, Honda, Lundgaard, Aaron McLaren, Chevy. So Chevy's not having the best year. Honda's doing pretty better with these hybrids. And I was kind of expecting that. I'm going to take a sip of my water and White Claw real quick. But personally, we should be expecting that because Honda has F1, and they also do like hypercar. So they have other road endurance, other race series that they do, that they have hybrid systems that help them out way better. They have understandings like that, so it would help them out, I'm saying, way better than IndyCar. Chevy doesn't really do that yet. Cadillac just got into road endurance. But they don't have an F1 engine yet. But F1's very hybrid heavy, and the next regulations that Cadillac's going to be building engines for is more engine heavy. But they're pushing for V8s. Since they have fully sustainable fuel now, and I don't know if this it matters with emissions, but maybe emissions are still bad. But since they have fully sustainable fuel, they might get rid of the hybrids and just go V8s. People want V10s, but V8s would be better for sound and also for weight. It would help out a lot better. They don't want to make these cars too heavy. If they can make them lightweight as crap with the safety, it would be very fun racing. But people also forget that, like, for power you get with a hybrid, so nice too. It adds a weight, but the power you get and the fact that you could regen it and have a whole different strategy is pretty fun. I won't lie about that. And like some people are saying, a lot of car companies still sell V8s, which I agree with. Not many Europeans do anymore. I think Volkswagen stopped. Mercedes does because they're German. And I think there's certain cars, and they got to pay taxes for it, and you got to pay expensive taxes for a V8. But other car companies that aren't high-end prices, like a Volkswagen, people won't pay for that. Why not get a Mercedes at that point? But I do like for hybrids, even in Indy and F1, is requiring a lot more strategy, which I like. So you can see below me, for the British Grand Prix, Lando Norris 1 and 2 pits. His fastest lap was 1:37.15. Oscar Piastri got the fastest lap though, and this was on 51st lap. It was 1:29.33. So Lando Norris got first, Oscar Piastri got second, Nico Hulkenberg for Sauber got third, Lewis Hamilton, GOAT, Pierre got fourth, Max Verstappen got fifth. Bad week for him. Pierre Gasly got sixth, Lance Stroll got seventh, Albon eighth, Alonso ninth, George Russell 10th, Behrman, Sainz. People who didn't finish were Kimi Antonelli, Isaac Hadjar, Gabriel Bortoleto, Liam Lawson, and Franco Colapinto, all retired. Something that was crazy. Basically, they were driving, and Oscar Piastri, during a yellow flag, braked abruptly before the yellow flag went back to green and left. It was a virtual safety car, I believe. And the problem with that is that you don't know when that's going to happen. You see on your steering wheel when it happens, but it's kind of hard to react to that if you're braking, speeding up, which sometimes people like to do to closing up the pack, but to also generate heat in your tires. That got him a 10-second penalty, which is kind of unheard of. It's normally 5, but if it was 5, he would have been around Lando Norris, and people would not like. And they said the FIA may have been messing with that, but I personally don't feel like that may have been a thing. It was probably just like they just kind of want to use them as a lesson. Some people say British bias. I don't know about that. It was a British Grand Prix, and Lando Norris ended up winning. Oscar Piastri got second, 6 seconds behind his teammate. So, with that 10-second penalty, he probably would have won. And then Oscar Piastri asked if he can get a switch because he thought the penalty was unfair, which a lot of people, and I agree with this, think is crazy. Just because you make a mistake and you get a penalty doesn't mean that your teammates should have to deal with that. That's kind of unheard of to me. And that your teammates have to switch for you because of your penalty. Even if it's a little extreme, you did it. So it kind of shows how Oscar Piastri is how he feels about his ego. Being the leader and being taught by Mark Webber, maybe, shows a lot about that. And then that's pretty much it in my opinion. I lied. Nico Hulkenberg's a crazy story. It's his first podium, I think, like 267 F1 races, which is insane. Almost 10 years, probably over 10 years. And it's just great to see. He had a great party back home. Everyone was so happy. They didn't have champagne, so Aston Martin and Mercedes gave them their champagne for him and have a good time on the podium and have a good time as a team because that's just awesome for him. He's been a driver for a long time, and it's great to see him finally get a podium. Been through a lot of teams. It's sad to see Lewis not. He broke, I think, which was a 10-year streak on the podium at the British Grand Prix. Sad to see. But fourth is still good, especially if how Ferrari was driving. He was above Charles, so that's great. Charles looks like a 14th because he just pitted early. It rained, and he pitted at the wrong time. Something that's a little bit crazy is Max Verstappen. Drove a little. He wasn't driving into people, but he just had a bad day where he had people kind of almost driving into him, and he spun out a lot on the tires. Strategy was wrong for Red Bull, and Max, had slicks when it was supposed to be wet, and just a bad day overall. His car, also because it was rainy, he got pole and he finished 5th, so a bad day. But that was because his car was built for qualifying, low downforce. They were praying it wasn't going to rain, and it rained. So it happens. And with part that sucks, and this sucks. But that's F1 for you. You have to be smart about the future. Now we'll be going into a little bit the Christian Horner drama because we're in America and our laws are different here. I could talk about this. Christian Horner, after the British Grand Prix yesterday, was fired. Fired yesterday, which is crazy. It's a big shakeup. Red Bull's a long-time boss, 20 years, who started for F1 company, was who in the past was ousted, basically fired because of a scandal, internal drama, and performance warriors. We're about to unpack how it all went down. In February 2024, Horner faced allegations of inappropriate behavior by a female colleague, one of his assistants. Red Bull launched an internal probe. The investigation cleared him in January, with the appeal also rejected by August. However, the investigation and the appeal was done by Christian Horner's lawyers himself. Not himself, but themselves. So basically, Red Bull, or Christian Horner's contract, had anytime I have an investigation against me, it has to be done by my lawyers. And Red Bull signed off on that. I don't know how that's smart because, like I've talked to other people, one, it shows bias. The lawyers are going to have bias because he's paying them. Two, they have a duty to kind of be in his favor. So they're going to kind of like be the attackers. And hopefully they didn't break down this girl too much and destroy too much of what she had before, because she's still going to a civil court despite being cleared for leak. There were leaked WhatsApp messages that fueled public scrutiny last year before one of the races. An anonymous source dropped a Google Docs drive with, I believe, like 1,000 or maybe even more WhatsApp screenshots of like Horner sexting this girl and saying crazy stuff. Photos of his Johnson. This crazy stuff. Post-controversy, key figures began exiting. Car designer Adrian Newey, who's the most winning engineer in F1 history. Chris Wheatley and Rob Marshall for other teams. Basically major people in this team that basically just helped destroy it. And also growing tensions with the Max Verstappen camp, especially as far as Josh, who warned the team was in danger of being torn apart if they kept him on the team. And Max is a champion. He wins more than the team principal as being the driver. Following dominance 2023, Red Bull struggled in 2025 and 2024. Fewer wins, car issues, and Verstappen's frustration. Last year they won the drivers, but they didn't win the constructors. Verstappen's probably not going to win the drivers. They're definitely not winning the constructors, and their second driver is horrible. So it's really sad. With Verstappen's contract, including performance clauses, retention was at risk, and still kind of is, leading for calls for change, and it's kind of what ended up him being fired. Not really the sexual harassment stuff, but it probably doesn't make him look better. And I guess if he gets charged on that, he won't get hired again in F1. But until then, until it goes through the courts, public courts and civil courts in Great Britain, we won't know, and he might be able to get back into F1 until it happens. So on July 9th, yesterday, Red Bull announced that Horner's removal from operation, and Lionel Mekies, sorry, I think he's French or Italian, took over. He was the team principal for Racing Bulls for sister team. A leaked farewell video showed Horner tearfully thanking staff for 20 years of success, which is sad, but it happens. I don't have any hard. He's married to Ginger Spice. He shouldn't be cheating on her with a young assistant. That's kind of nasty. What's next for Red Bull in F1? Can Mekies keep Verstappen on board? He's considering Mercedes because they have the best engine next year. They have a history of producing the best engines year one for a couple years in the hybrid. So it's kind of funny that Lewis left. But I get it, more challenging. And he might not even be racing in 2 years. But maybe. Prove me wrong, Lewis, please. But with all the leaked internal data, Mercedes does have the best engine for the new regulations. With the rust removed, will new leadership restore cohesion and performance in time for their engine shift next year in 2026? The legacy of Horner's achievements is kind of crazy, with six constructors and 8 drivers' titles, and the scandal's impact on his image and himself, though. He has 4 with Max Verstappen for drivers, and 4 with Vettel, or I think Vettel only got 2 there. And then he had 2 over with probably Mark Webber and someone else, I forget. To me, it's kind of sad because his exit was overdue, but they're kind of using him as a scapegoat for crappy strategies recently, and how bad the team's been doing. Normal F1 leadership should learn from this and all the good people. They shouldn't really act like him and just mess around with people at work at all. We'll be in here next week too. Right now, like I said, F1's in December break. It's for, I think, 3 weeks. So we'll be talking about for Belgian Grand Prix in 2 weeks from now. I'll be talking for Guardians real quick because after the Guardians lost to the Cubs and Tigers, got swept by them, we ended up sweeping the Astros at Houston. On Monday, we won 7-5. Tuesday, 10-6. Yesterday, 4-2. Today, we play the White Sox at 7:40, playing them right now. Tomorrow, 8:10. And then Saturday, 4:10. And then Sunday at 2:10, we have a home run derby at 8 and the All-Star game. Home run derby Monday, All-Star game. Tuesday for a break. Then we come back next Friday with the Athletics. After the Athletics, Orioles. Then KC and the Rockies. We'll be covering real quick, after I take a quick sip of this drink, how the Guardians have been doing recently. Slade Koscielny dazzled for the Guardians. Season high 9 strikeouts as we swept the Astros 3-0. Their first Astros sweep since 2017, which is great to see. Jose Ramirez is battling 229 with 16 home runs, 44 RBIs, and 24 steals, earning a spot on the AL, American League, All-Star team, which is great. But a key reliever was off, stirring fan debate, which I'm guessing was Clase, but he hasn't had the best year. After that 10-game losing streak, we really needed some wins, which is crazy. We are deeper into the AL Central. Our offense rose, plagued the lineup. Pitching inconsistencies didn't help. Real closer, but yeah, Clase is still pretty steady. That's not having a great year like he has before, but he's never going to have a year like that. We just need our other, relievers, not closers, and starters to do decent because guys are hurt. We have bright spots of string momentum. Ramirez home runs in Houston, Kwan's electric speed, and bullpen gem from Clase marked our weekly highlights. Injuries to key players like Jose Ramirez's bruise and a dynamic yet unstable rotation. Trevor Bibby's early season extension offset is still inconsistent. Early season extensions offset by inconsistent starts for him. Rookie pitcher Luis Ortiz was placed on MLB's paid leave after prop bets flagged risky behaviors in games. So that's funny, a gambling scandal. Ortiz's ERA sits at 4.36 with a 4.9 record. The investigation underscores MLB's crackdown on integrity, which is crazy to see. At 40 and 48 for Guardians trail in the American League Central, yet for sweep shows potential to spark reassurance, which is good to see. We need rotation for focus. Cicerone and Bybee with present promise, but consistent performance and bullpen health are critical, especially later in the season. Off-season moves with new assistant Corey Kluber, GOAT, and with full development and leadership are the key themes, which is good to see, interesting to see. And what matters next, can the Guardians carry momentum post-sweep and emerge from their skid? Or could Ortiz's outcome affect bullpen plans? And then make sure you stay tuned for potential returns and long-term suspensions post-All-Star break we'll be talking about next week probably. So it's good to see. I hope you guys enjoyed the show so far. Once again, make sure you drop a like if you enjoyed. I'm sorry Hunter couldn't make it today. It was his girlfriend's birthday. Good to see Hailey's having a good day. And I also hope you follow us on Facebook because we do kind of need to get more likes on Facebook. But I also don't put ads anywhere. I kind of want this to all be grassroots. So however you guys feel about it. But the more you share, the more we'll get out there, especially if you watch the VODs, which are also on Facebook. Any other comments, drop, I have notifications on. So if you guys even comment on these videos, I can come back and watch, say hi, give you feedback, say how you're liking the show. And once again, we have scores above us and scores Fiberglass Grand Prix below me. Hope you guys like the layout and everything. We'll keep gunning. We'll probably have, maybe not this Sunday. It might be a little bit busy, but we'll see. Healthy Life show, maybe a music show Saturday night. Probably not Saturday night. We're pretty busy. But I hope everyone has a good weekend and enjoy your summer. I mean, the summer we'll have a little bit less episodes than the winter. We're more inside in the winter. So hope everyone's enjoyed their episode though for Northeast Ohio.